The first exercise, it's too simple, really, is the problem with it. It's too simple, but it's good. All right, so here's the sequence we're gonna shoot. Here's what I want it to look like. All right, how much did the fact that I'm moving change that? None. And again, like I said, it's too simple, right? But that's what we want. So the idea here is, watch me shoot. We're not going to do this. This isn't a drill we're going to do. Just watch what this looks like basically as I'm going to move around and shoot a little bit. So as I was shooting there, like you look at the style of it. When I was stopped, not moving, it was feet spread apart, knees bent, ready to move, right? Now, how much shooting on the move did you see?
Not much. You seemed stopped when you were...
Yeah, I looked pretty stable every time I was pulling the trigger. Any other answers? How much shooting on the move did you see? It's not a trick question.
All of it, right?
What's that?
All of it, right?
Well, I would say no, not all of it. Like, if I was stopped, say, like nothing at all moving, I didn't fire many shots that way. But there was a lot of shots I was shooting. My shoulders are rolling a little bit. It's like I'm going to be stopping. A boom, boom. I'm on the trigger here as I'm stopping, right? So when guys think of shooting on the move, they think of like heel to toe roll step, moving properly and shooting that way. Whereas the way that you apply it in like a competition setting, there's a lot of, you look at a guy's like, is he really moving? Well, no, like my feet aren't moving, but my center of gravity is moving. Like I'm leaning out of position as I'm shooting, or I'm shooting as I'm stopping myself. That's where we make a lot of time. Does that make sense? Yeah. So what this is a way to Miyagi you into doing that, right? So we're forcing you to shoot as you just take one step and destabilize yourself. That's it. That's the whole idea. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right, so what we want, you're gonna start and stop in a stance that you consider acceptable. So feet spread apart, knees bent, like ready to move. All right, now watch my body closely. I will start and stop in this position. Start and stop in this position. The stick is, I don't care how good you can shoot stepping over sticks. That's not really the point. This is just a way to force you to take one step. You look at it like it looks too simple. This is hard for people to do. Trust me. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. So with that, let's get to it, guys. That's right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna do lateral, which I think is harder. I'll give you a couple of examples here. No, okay, that's good. We're on it. Also not good. I think you're gonna have a much easier time cross-stepping, so bring your trail foot first and go slightly forward like this. Much, much, much easier. Make sense? All right, so again, like, I don't want to belabor it, but this isn't really about the stick. Like, this is the way that you're going to shoot and move on target. So if the targets are close like this and we're shooting and moving laterally, you probably look like this, and I want you to have the ability to flow right into a stop and engage stuff that's more difficult, and then pop out of that and get moving. Right? So like that's the context that we're kind of practicing for. All right, cool, let's do it. All right, we're gonna do the same concept, just a little bit different. Was doing everything wrong. Let's be honest. It was terrible. fairly efficient in terms of the technique, but no performance to it. How am I going to shoot faster and better? Well, I can lean into the shooting from here and start shooting up there before I'm really stopped. All right. So just as a reminder, like the sights don't need to look perfect. If I just see the color in the middle, I mean, that's going to get me the outcome I want. And the other thing is, do you think it's kind of a fool's errand to make it look like a perfect dot? Yeah, if you're moving, I think it's a fool's errand because it's not going to look like that. No matter what you do, it's like you're going to have to stop yourself to stop the sight. So that's why you got to harp on, like, no, just react to the color, pull the trigger then. You can see there I'm trying to get on the trigger before I'm really stopped or when the sights tell me that it's good. The big key here is we're disconnecting the trigger finger from what your feet are doing. I mean, like if it looks good, pull the trigger. It doesn't matter how you feel or if you're a little bit off balance. Like I showed you earlier, you're going to do a lot of your shooting a little bit off balance, right? And you just get comfortable with that. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Any questions? All right. One other big thing to mention here is that we need to not stay connected to the sight the whole time we shoot the drill. So watch this. See there, just based on where the gun was, I'm staring at, I can see the sight the whole time. Now, the reason that, in my opinion, the reason that guys don't want to just kind of relax their shoulders and let the gun come off their eye line is because they're afraid they won't be able to acquire the sight when they come back up. That is a training issue. You need to be very comfortable, get the gun off your eye line when you're not actually using the sight. If the sight's up here and I'm not using it for about a second, I'll start staring at it. Right, so I don't want that. It was like instead, like relax my arms, get the sight off my eye line. When I want to engage the target again, the sight will come back up into my awareness. Consistent grip, index. You can trust that that will actually happen. We just don't want. I don't want to see people doing this, staring at their sight the whole time. Make sense? Questions? All right.
Did you break your grip?
Oh, here, that's actually a good question. Here, no. I think the rule for me is about 5 steps. So if it's more than 5 steps, my hand is always coming off the gun and I'm going to try to run properly. If it's a shorter distance, typically my hands stay on. Not always, like if I'm moving laterally and there's like a safe angle issue, like I might take my hand off the gun so I can just not violate the safe angle. But like basically if it's 5 steps or more, my hand is coming off the gun and I'm going to try to run properly. Okay, cool. A little more complicated and try to apply all of the skills we were just doing. So I'm going to engage this pair of targets from here, move across this stick, engage this pair of targets, move forward, re-engage this pair, move laterally, re-engage this pair here. I think the big thing to pay attention to is what my head is doing. So if we're just doing that simple forward movement and like kind of shooting into a stop, that's one thing to disconnect your head from the sights. But now it becomes really critical and really obvious if you're not doing that. If that makes sense, right? So we're going to be, again, moving around in a square pattern. Gun stays downrange. My head moves off the gun to direct the movement. So the question then becomes, watching that style, like where was I stopping and shooting, and where was I shooting and moving? And then you're kind of looking at it like, well, you didn't really stop that much. I mean, kind of like back here, I started, stopped, moved over here. I would say I was basically stopped for a beat, then leaning forward as I was shooting. And then on the closer lines, my shoulders never really stopped moving, right? I just kind of let my body flow through the shooting. It wasn't really shooting on the move, but I wouldn't call it static shooting either. Does it make sense to everybody? It's just, I mean, we're looking at this. This is obviously like way more complicated. It's going to be harder, but it's like this exposes you to what we want it to look like. All right. I don't expect that it's going to go great for everybody, but we're going to try it. All right. Cool, let's do it. So we're gonna run two.